Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
The dark side of living in Germany.
The dark side of living in Germany. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about the dark sides of living in Germany. 1. Bad internet connection. Germany's internet connection is known around the world as one of the slowest and most unreliable in Europe.
Wow.
And let me tell you...
Let's see how old this is. A year ago, so this is recent. That's so interesting. Wow.
I wonder how come everyone has business to get done,
Oh, Europe has fast internet. Like Lithuania, I believe, is like second in the world in the fastest internet.
It can be quite frustrating when your Netflix screen keeps buffering.
I want to say Japan, but I'm not sure.
Or your Zoom call suddenly gets disconnected. It almost makes you yearn for those simpler times before the digital age. It is one of those negative sides of living in Germany that you only get to know if you stay there for longer. But why are we stuck with this less than optimal service?
Yes,
well, unfortunately, it boils down to two things: lack of infrastructure, investment, and antiquated telecommunication regulations. Essentially, providers don't want to splurge too much on new technology since they already have an existing system in place, which means you end up getting what feels like subpar performance. On top of that, lawmakers here tend not to adhere strictly enough to competition rules, which stifles any potential improvements from rival companies entering the market. 2.
That was interesting. I can't find like a solid list, but I think Lithuania no longer number 2. I remember it used to be number 2, but now I guess... See Saudi Arabia.
What list is this? He said in
so first is Monaco.
How do you check? Oh, for speed? You check bad internet connection means the speed is slow?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so first is Monaco, then Singapore, Hong Kong, Romania, Switzerland, Denmark, Thailand, Chile, France, South Korea. So it's crazy that surrounding countries like France, Switzerland, Denmark, they have like on the top 10.
This list is what year is this one?
So like 2024, yeah, March. So wow. I would never thought. Crazy.
Staff at Ausländerbehörde, German immigration, are so rude. If you've ever had the misfortune of dealing with German immigration, then you'll know that it's not always a pleasant experience. The staff at the Ausländerbehörde are notoriously rude and unhelpful, making it one of the negative sides of living in Germany. It may seem like this rudeness is intentional, but upon closer inspection, it seems to be more rooted in cultural differences. Germans tend to be much more formal than any other countries when interacting with people whom they don't know very well. This often leads to misunderstandings between immigrants and those assisting them outside the Ausländerbehörde, an awkward situation for all involved. There have been several attempts.
I think, I would think it would be similar in Lithuania probably because it's very formal. So I think I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Attempts by government officials and public figures alike to improve communication between immigrants and their counterparts at the Ausländerbehörde. While some progress has been made as far as etiquette goes, there is still a great deal of room for improvement on both sides, something which many visitors find disappointing each time they visit Germany's immigration office. 3. Difficulty in making friends.
We saw this. We saw this in other reactions,
As one of the most populated countries in Europe, it may surprise you to hear that many foreigners struggle with making friends here. For starters, directness isn't a joke in Germany. People are incredibly blunt, which can make social interactions feel uncomfortable for those coming from more indirect cultures. It is one of those dark sides of living.
It's definitely something that you need to get used to, I'm sure. Yeah, it's not... At first it would be like...
What do you mean? Like, what would be an example?
Oh, you got fat. You know?
Oh.
Or something like that, you know. Like somebody hasn't seen you for like 3 months and, you gained a couple, pounds or kilos and like, oh, you got fat. You know.
Do they point out positive things too?
I would think so. Because it's not saying that they're negative, they're just blunt. So it's like, even if they're positive or negative, it's, or like, alternative, oh, you got skinny, or like, oh, you got big, you got small, something like that, I would think.
living in Germany that nobody wants to discuss. Making matters worse is the rather reserved behaviour of your average German person. Privacy and personal space are held at very high regard over here. Not only will you find yourself keeping conversations surface level, but chances are shocking news or gossip won't do too well either. 4. No air conditioners.
That's all Europe, not exclusive to Germany, though.
Summer in Germany, the time of year when all the locals are basking.
I don't know, never been, but summers, yeah, probably, especially with global warming. But winter time, It's basically the reason A is super expensive, so that's like why there's none. But two, it's not, you don't need it all year round either, So it's if you have money, I'm sure you're gonna install it, but it's definitely not every. At least based in Lithuania, there wasn't a thing. You're much more concerned about heating in winter than about air conditioning in summer.
That's true.
In sunshine and enjoying the best of what nature has to offer, except for one thing. Can you guess what it is? That's right, no air conditioners. Yes, my friends, living without air conditioning in Germany can be a real challenge, especially during those hot summer days. You may find yourself wiping sweat off your forehead every few minutes, just trying to stay cool. A little bit of wind will help a bit, but unfortunately there isn't much around these parts, which can make things quite uncomfortable. It is one of the most annoying negative sides of living in Germany. And while, yes, some people do have access to an AC unit, they aren't as readily available or common as they would be if you were living somewhere else like America or Southeast Asia, where hotter temperatures prevail throughout the entire year. So don't expect any joy from that direction unless you want to...
but as I said, it's an issue probably 2-3 months out of the year, so it's not a big deal.
Burn up a big fat hole in your wallet. 5. Dog poos everywhere, especially...
this is shocking because I thought Germans are strict.
I would think they'd tell you to pick it up.
I don't know if I believe this.
I thought we saw different information too.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe this.
They said it was like that in France.
Yes, France, that's what we heard, yeah.
But this is now current, so maybe things change.
I don't know if I believe this one.
Really big cities. One of the not so great things about living in Germany, dog poo everywhere. We're talking sidewalks, parks and streets completely blanketed in canine feces. It's like a minefield you have to carefully make your way around.
Makes me think if the person who's making this video has actually been to Germany or they just found a list online and they're just doing it.
It is a dark side of living in Germany that nobody expects from a first world country. The thing is, Germans just love their dogs. So much so that it's become commonplace to bring your pooch with you wherever you go, even to the grocery store. So when these dogs do their business, well, let's just say the streets are not necessarily spare.
It's the hardest conversation
I don't know if I believe that.
Telling them that the baby won't make it.
6. High taxes. The significant amount of tax that is withheld from a worker's paycheck in Germany is the most significant disadvantage of residing in Germany. The amount of an expat's income that is subject to income tax might range anywhere from 20 to 40%, depending on their wage.
But that's the same here, though. The starting rate, I think, is at 20 and ends at 44. So how is that different?
It is one of the true dark sides of living in Germany. But don't despair, my friends. Germany actually has a lot of benefits.
Right, so you got the healthcare and everything. It's a trade-off, essentially.
1. The taxes are used to fund some of the most amazing public services in the world. These include free healthcare and education, as well as infrastructure and transportation systems that make life more convenient for everyone.
Right.
7. Bureaucracy.
Have you heard that a lot?
Bureaucracy. Yeah. It's the bane of everyone's existence.
For everyone who immigrated to
it seems everybody said bureaucracy, yeah.
Or at least it seems like that when you're living in Germany. For those unfamiliar with this term, bureaucracy is defined as a complex system of rules and regulations used to manage an organization. In other words, it's a lot of paperwork and hassle when trying to get anything done. It is one of the dark sides of living in Germany. In Germany, bureaucracy is especially rampant. From the lengthy and confusing visa applications to the never-ending paperwork for taxes, it can feel like you're stuck in an endless loop of red tape. Even seemingly simple tasks, like opening a bank account or registering your car, can often turn into an arduous process requiring multiple visits to various offices and repeated bouts of filling out forms. It's enough to make anyone want to tear their hair out. And speaking from experience, we're trying to get through all that bureaucracy in another language with unfamiliar terminology.
Oh, yeah. don't forget it's gonna be in German too.
Really? They don't have multiple languages?
No, they have an official language, German. They're not gonna have it. Ooh, I completely didn't even think about it last time. That just makes it so much harder. Ooh.
In concepts, it can be downright frustrating. 8. Too many rules. When it comes to regulations and bureaucracy, the country isn't necessarily known for its laid-back
They did say that in the other, when they're interviewing people too, but they said they got used to it, so.
attitude. From strict parking laws to complex residence permits, living in Germany can be a bit of a challenge at times. For instance, have you ever tried getting your driver's license or Führerschein? In most countries, this usually involves passing some tests and voila, you're good to go. Not so in Germany. Here, not only do you need a certain number of driving lessons, but also must attend first aid classes, as well as pass an extensive theoretical exam that covers everything from vehicle construction knowledge to traffic signs to road safety rules. And then there's the practical exam,
Same in Lithuania though, so I think most of the Europe probably similar.
which includes huge amounts of paperwork. You get the idea by now. 9. Germans smoke a lot. There are certain places, such as restaurants, where you can enjoy your meal without having to contend with cigarette smoke. On the other hand, if you venture into some bars or cafes, then you'll be met with a haze of smoke from all directions, which can really put off non-smokers. We admit that this doesn't make for an ideal environment for those who don't partake in tobacco products themselves, but it does mean there's plenty of opportunity for people watching throughout any given night. It is one of the real dark sides of living in Germany. Another thing about smoking in Germany is how it seems unavoidable during festivals and parties. Smokers will often light up without even thinking twice about it. So if you're not keen on being around clouds of secondhand smoke, then perhaps steer clear of these types of occasions. Some places have designated smoking areas, but unfortunately, many do not have such measures, always making cigarettes very easily accessible.
I would think it would be
10.
different because they're very, precise in following rules.
Well, yeah, but the rules are
The designated smoke area.
not always though, that's the thing. Sometimes there's no.
Racism. Racism is the cruelest dark side of living in Germany. We must accept this awful truth. Don't get me wrong, most Germans are open-minded and accept variety. Some segments of society still harbour prejudice. From subtle microaggressions to overt prejudice, it can be devastating for the victim. Since Germany has been tormented by its past for decades, racial disparity here is considerably more deadly. This implies that race purity is firmly rooted in some parts of society and continues to rear its ugly head when least expected or intended. In conclusion, there are many dark sides of
I guess that's it.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible. Bye.